my beloved child, in this sacred December night, when the veil between the heavenly realm and your world becomes thin as breath, Archangel Michael leans close to your spirit. His whisper is not a coincidence, it is a divine appointment. He speaks of a powerful Christmas miracle opening for you tonight, a miracle shaped with guidance, sealed with protection, and carrying answers long hidden in the chambers of your destiny. This is not an ordinary message. This is not a gentle blessing passing over you like snow on quiet streets. This is a summoning, a call into alignment, a revelation meant for the one whose heart has been trembling under questions no human voice could soothe. Archangel Michael says, I come because your soul has reached the threshold of a divine turning. What you feared was ending is becoming your beginning. And you can feel it, can't you? Somewhere deep, in a place you rarely admit exists, something moves, like light cracking through a door that's been shut too long. Tonight, heaven is not sending you a sign. Heaven is opening a pathway. And Michael wants you to know, you were guided here. Not by chance, not by curiosity, but by spiritual precision. He says this miracle has been forming for months, even when you could not see it. It formed in the moments you cried in silence. It formed in the hours you felt abandoned and misunderstood. It formed when you whispered, God, please show me a way. And now, this Christmas night, your answer begins to rise like dawn. But here is the part that will shake you. Michael reveals that 3 spiritual elements are aligning around you at once, something that rarely happens and only appears to those chosen for higher protection. First, a heavenly shield is being placed over your home. For too long, energies that did not belong to you have entered your space. Fear, confusion, spiritual heaviness, and the worry that something unseen was resisting your breakthrough. Archangel Michael now steps in as the guardian of your doorway. He says, no shadow shall pass where my sword has been drawn. Second, a divine instruction is being whispered into your spirit. There is something you are meant to do, something you are meant to walk away from, or something you are meant to finally claim. You have felt the pull but doubted yourself. Tonight, Michael says, the hesitation ends. Your clarity begins. Third, a hidden answer is about to surface, an answer connected to a prayer you thought heaven had forgotten. But heaven forgets nothing. Some answers simply take time because they are crafted with precision, not speed. Michael reveals that what you are about to receive is not random, it is tailored. It carries your name in the spiritual realm. And still, he asks you something unusual, a question that vibrates in your chest even now. Are you ready to receive a miracle that will not look the way you expected, but will become everything you needed? Tonight, your yes has power. Tonight, your willingness becomes a key. Tonight, your spirit is being prepared for something that will unfold in layers, starting now and completing in the final moments of this message. Because Michael says your sign does not appear in the beginning, it appears at the end. And only those who remain, only those whose spirits are aligned with the timing of heaven, will recognize it. Heaven never hides from you. It reveals at the perfect moment. That moment has not yet arrived, but it is coming faster than you think. Stay with this message, because the miracle that opens for you tonight is not a single blessing. It is a sequence, a divine chain reaction. One revelation will trigger another, and the end will bring a truth that will change the way you see your path, your purpose, and your protection. Michael shows me an image of you standing at a doorway made of light. Not a literal doorway, but a spiritual one. A threshold between who you were and who you are becoming. And just inches behind you, I see the weight of the year you survived. The battles, the disappointments, the heartbreaks, the spiritual fatigue, all of it. But in front of you, a glow so warm, so alive, so undeniably divine that it pulls your spirit forward, You may not see this doorway in your physical eyes yet, but your soul recognizes it instantly. It knows a miracle is near. And Michael speaks again. Tell them to breathe. The shift begins with breath. So breathe now. So, steady, open. Your miracle begins with this breath. Your guidance flows with this breath. Your protection strengthens with this breath. Something ancient in your spirit is being awakened. Something powerful is rising. Something holy is touching your atmosphere. And in the final moments, when the last words fall, your sign will reveal itself with a clarity you cannot deny. Hold on, you'll want to see what unfolds next. Type "I welcome the miracle" in the comments if this part is stirring your spirit. Blessing code 1444 has now been released upon you. Radiant soul of light, as this sacred night deepens, Archangel Michael steps even closer, his presence intensifying around you like a warm shield wrapping your entire being. He says that what you felt in the first moments of this message was only the beginning. Tonight's miracle is layered, unfolding like a divine scroll opening line by line before your spiritual eyes. And now, the second layer begins to reveal itself. Michael whispers, "There is a reason this message reached you at this exact hour. There is a reason your spirit could not scroll past. Heaven has selected you to receive a breakthrough that needed your full awareness, your open heart, and your readiness to embrace what is coming. This is not a casual message. This is not a soft encouragement. This is a direct heavenly intervention. Michael is adjusting the course of your journey, marking you with a protection that cannot be broken by circumstances, people, or spiritual resistance. Something powerful is happening tonight, and your soul has already sensed it. That sudden heaviness lifting from your chest, that strange calm rising, that feeling that you are being watched over. These are not coincidences. These are signs of Archangel Michael entering your atmosphere with full authority. And he reveals something startling now. Your Christmas miracle is not only about blessing, it is about divine rearrangement. Something in your life that has been out of order is about to be corrected by heaven's hand. Michael shows me a vision of your path, a long road with moments of progress but also sudden blocks, delays, and interruptions that felt unfair and unexplained. He says this was not because you lacked effort or faith. It was because something unseen was pulling against your forward motion. He calls it interference, spiritual noise that clouded your clarity and slowed your steps. But tonight, as the miracle opens, that interference is being removed. Not solely, not gently, but completely. He raises his sword in the spiritual realm, and a line of blue fire cuts through the obstacles that once intimidated your heart. He says no more confusion, no more detours, no more repeating cycles. I clear the path before them. You may not physically see this happening, but your spirit will begin to feel it within the next few days. Sudden clarity, unexpected opportunities, a sense of encouragement rising from within you, as if someone is silently lifting you forward. That someone is Michael himself. But there is more. Heaven is opening a message specifically about your heart. For too long, you have carried emotional burdens that no one truly understood, not even those closest to you. You have held disappointments quietly, pretending to be strong even when your spirit felt exhausted. You have prayed for comfort while telling no one how deep the pain went. Michael saw every moment. He witnessed the tears you hid. He felt the ache you tried to silence. And now he says, tonight, your heart receives healing that has been delayed but never denied. There is a wound you carried that you believed time would fix. But time alone cannot heal what spirit must address. That is why this Christmas miracle comes not as a festive blessing but as a divine remedy. Your heart is being restored from places you forgot were broken. The heaviness you carried into this year will not follow you into the next. Heaven is personally intervening to seal what was once leaking your strength. Michael shows me an image of you holding pieces of yourself, unsure how to make them fit again. And now, he gently places his hand over them, bringing the pieces together effortlessly. He says, "Your wholeness begins now." Another layer unfolds. Michael speaks of a revelation, something hidden that will soon come to light. It is connected to a truth you sensed but could never fully articulate. As a Jew in the related him and as in the path you vetted. Peace says your spirit was not wrong. Your intuition was speaking. And now, in the unfolding of this miracle, the truth will reveal itself with perfect timing. Not to harm you, but to release you. Not to frighten you, but to free you. Heaven does not expose to destroy. Heaven exposes to protect. And this protection is part of your Christmas miracle. Michael whispers one more message, and his tone grows deeply serious. Tell them they are not walking into the new season alone. I am assigned to them. My watch is over their steps, and my shield is around their home. This is divine companionship, the kind that does not fade, does not weaken, does not disappear when challenges arise. You are spiritually guarded, more than you have ever been before. Now you must listen carefully, because Michael reveals a time-sensitive element. He says the miracle opens tonight, but the sign appears only when the final moments of this message arrive. This means your spirit must remain aligned with what heaven is speaking. The moment you receive the sign, you will know without doubt that the message was sent to you specifically, not generally. And something extraordinary will happen when that moment comes, a shift inside your spirit, a sense of rightness, a sudden certainty, a release of fear, a feeling that what you've been waiting for is finally stepping out of darkness and into view. Before you scroll, this is where everything begins to sharpen. Type "I open my heart to divine healing" in the comments if this message is awakening something in you. Blessing code 2299 is being placed upon your journey. Chosen heart of the divine. As this sacred unfolding continues, Archangel Michael's presence grows even brighter around you. He says the next layer of your Christmas miracle carries a frequency so powerful, so deeply personal, that your spirit will feel it before your mind fully understands it. This is the part where heaven steps into your timeline, not only to guide you but to reposition you. The shift that began in silence now begins to echo into every part of your life. Michael reveals that you have been standing in a season where your faith has been tested more than your strength. You were stretched emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and even financially. You faced nights where you questioned whether God still remembered you, and mornings where your soul felt weary before the day even began. Yet in every moment where you thought you were breaking, heaven saw you strengthening. Michael says their endurance is the proof they are chosen. Their persistence is the key that unlocked tonight's miracle. He shows me an image of you surrounded by waves, each one representing challenges that came one after another. But there you stood, not sinking, not drowning, but holding on. He says heaven is rewarding that endurance now. Your miracle is not random. It is earned in the unseen places of your faith. Tonight, the miracle deepens through something Michael calls divine repositioning. He explains that certain things in your life are about to shift into alignment unexpectedly. You may begin noticing sudden clarity in decisions that once felt foggy. Ideas you pushed aside will return with purpose. Paths that seemed closed will open without effort. Opportunities you thought were gone will reappear. This is not coincidence. This is divine strategy unfolding with precision. And then Michael speaks of something profound. Before the miracle manifests outwardly, it must anchor inwardly. This means your heart is being prepared for what is coming. Your spirit is being fortified. Your inner world is being set into alignment so that the blessing does not overwhelm you, but elevates you. He says the reason many blessings delay is because the heart must be strengthened before the hands can hold what heaven is sending. But your heart has reached that readiness now. Michael also reveals a personal message about your relationships. There is someone in your life whose energy has been unstable, whose intentions toward you have been unclear. You have felt confusion, hesitation, and spiritual discomfort around them. Tonight, heaven begins to expose the truth, not to cause conflict but to protect your destiny. The Christmas miracle you are receiving includes clarity and connections. Those meant to stay will strengthen. Those meant to leave will drift away. And you will feel peace instead of resistance. Heaven is not just blessing your path, it is cleaning your environment. Michael reminds you that divine protection is not always a shield against harm. Sometimes it is the removal of what cannot walk into the next chapter with you. The miracle unfolding tonight has the power to separate you from what drains you and align you with what expands you. As Michael stands at your side, he lifts his sword again. This time, the sword gleams with a golden blue flame. He touches it to the ground before you, and instantly I see a ripple of energy spreading outward. He says this is the severing of old cycles. Every pattern that repeated itself in your life, every loop you could not break, every emotional chain that pulled you backward, tonight they are cut. This is heaven's intervention. You are stepping into a season that will not mirror your past. He then reveals something extraordinary. Your spirit is being marked for a new assignment. This assignment may not appear as something dramatic. It may simply look like renewed peace, new opportunities, restored confidence, better alignment, or sudden breakthroughs. But make no mistake, this is your call and awakening. Something within you is being activated tonight that has been dormant for years. Michael says, tell them their purpose is rising with the miracle. And now, he tells me to speak directly to your spirit. You are not entering the next season as the version of yourself that struggled. You are stepping into it as the version heaven has strengthened. The weak places will become strong. The uncertain places will become guided. The fearful places will become protected. You are not just receiving a miracle. You are becoming aligned with your divine identity. Before the sign appears in the final moments, Michael asks you to stay connected to every word, because the revelation that forms next will shape the direction of your coming days. You whisper, hold steady. The revelation is approaching. Trust me, this next unfolding will shift something deep within you. Everything is building toward the sign heaven prepared for you. Like this message, share it to reach more souls, comment your testimony, and subscribe for more divine guidance. Type I receive the shift in the comments if this message is speaking into your spirit. Blessing code 5511 is now moving through your atmosphere. As this holy moment settles over your heart, let me speak to those who feel the weight and wonder of Michael's words. When you support this mission, through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not simply giving. You are sowing into the very light that rescues souls from fear and guides them back into God's presence. Scripture is alive in this moment, for the Lord whispers, "Those who water others shall themselves be watered." This is your invitation, and I feel it strongly. I am calling you to help carry this message of protection and revelation to those still searching in darkness. The theme of tonight's miracle lives inside this act, because as you release support, heaven releases breakthrough. Your giving becomes a prophetic act, and those who sow into divine work will never lack divine covering. Step into this moment with obedience. Precious soul standing at the threshold of divine awakening, as the night deepens and the spiritual atmosphere around you grows charged with heavenly intention, Archangel Michael steps forward once more. His voice carries a new weight now, a seriousness that signals the next part of your Christmas miracle is about to rise like a tide you cannot stop. This is where the revelation becomes personal, where heaven leans directly into your story and begins rewriting the pages that once carried sorrow, confusion, or unanswered longing. Michael says, the miracle unfolding for them tonight is not only a moment, it is a turning. In the realm of spirit, there are moments that mark you forever, moments where the old season loses its grip and the new season begins to breathe. You are standing inside such a moment now. The shift has already begun, but this part brings something even deeper, divine realignment. Heaven shows me a vision of you standing before a window covered in frost. For a long time, you could only see blurry shapes, unclear outlines of what might be coming, leaving you uncertain about your direction. But tonight, I see a warm light begin to melt that frost. Slowly, clarity emerges. Shapes turn into pathways. Viewing turns into recognition. Michael says their sight is being restored. This restoration is not physical, it is spiritual. Your inner vision, your intuition, your discernment, your ability to sense truth is being sharpened. The places where you doubted yourself will now become places of confidence. The decisions that once felt impossible will soon feel guided. Michael is activating something within you that have been asleep, something you may have dismissed as imagination or sensitivity. He calls it your spiritual intelligence. And tonight, it awakens. Heaven has been preparing you for revelation that requires awareness beyond the physical. There is something coming into your life, an opportunity, a connection, a divine instruction that must be recognized, not overlooked. Michael whispers, they must see with the eyes of the Spirit, not the eyes of fear. That is why this activation happens now. But there is another layer to this moment. Michael reveals that the miracle opening tonight is also tied to your voice. There were times when silence was your survival, times when you swallowed your truth to keep peace, times when you buried your feelings to avoid conflict, times when you doubted your worth because others could not see it. But heaven saw every moment. He says, tell them their voice is being restored to its rightful power. This restoration is not loud or aggressive. It is firm. It is steady. It is divinely guided. You will soon find yourself speaking with clarity where you once spoke with hesitation. You will stand confident where you once shrank back. Your voice will no longer tremble under the weight of other people's opinions or expectations. A miracle that changes your life must first change your spirit. That is what is happening now. But the transformation does not end here. Michael now draws your attention to something you have felt but never fully understood, a sense that something has been trying to hold you back. Not a person necessarily, but an energy, a heaviness, a lingering fog that made progress feel harder than it should have been. This resistance was not imagined. It was spiritual, subtle, and persistent. Tonight, Michael confronts it. He steps between you and everything that has drained you. His wings open wide, and a surge of blue-gold light surrounds you. He says, no force shall stand against what heaven has decreed for them. In this moment, a spiritual release begins. You may feel lighter. You may feel warmth. You may feel nothing yet, but the shift has already been initiated. The effect will follow. Heaven is clearing the residue of old battles so that you may walk forward without carrying weight that does not belong to you. The miracle unfolding tonight requires you to be unburdened, and Michael is making sure of it. He also reveals that communication from heaven is about to increase around you. Signs, numbers, dreams, unexpected moments of insight. These will not be random. They will be confirmations, messages aligning you with the path that is opening. You are entering a season where heaven will seem unusually close. That is the mark of Michael's presence. When he walks with someone, clarity becomes natural, peace becomes familiar, guidance becomes consistent. And now, you whisper something that makes the atmosphere shift again. Tell them they are crossing into the realm of answered prayers. Some of your prayers have not required action, only timing. Some have not required effort, only alignment. Some have not been denied, only prepared. Heaven has not forgotten what you ask. Heaven hath been shaping the answer. In these coming days expect small signs first, then expect sudden movement, and then expect a breakthrough that feels undeniably personal. This is how Michael works when he have been assigned to someone's miracle. You are closer than you think. You are further than you realize. You are exactly where heaven needs you to be. Wait for what unfolds next, because the deeper the message goes, the clearer your sign becomes. And the moment that sign appears, everything in your spirit will shift into alignment. Pi step into my clear path in the comments if this part is awakening something inside you. Blessing code 3003 is being sealed upon your journey. Beloved spirit walking through this divine unfolding, as the night grows richer with heavenly presence, Archangel Michael steps even closer to you. His energy is no longer simply surrounding you. It is moving through the very atmosphere around your spirit. The Christmas miracle that began as a whisper is now expanding into a full revelation. Michael says this is the part where hidden strength begins to awaken, where dormant gifts rise, and where the favor assigned to your life becomes undeniable. This moment is not gentle, it is powerful. It is the part of the miracle that shifts the ground beneath your feet. Heaven shows me a powerful image of you standing in a room filled with doors. Some are wide open, some are slightly ajar, and some are firmly closed. For a long time you stood unsure of which door to choose. Life forced decisions upon you before you felt ready, and people around you influenced paths you were not meant to walk. But now, something extraordinary is happening. Michael walks into that room beside you, and with one sweep of his hand, every door that was never meant for you begins to fade. They do not close violently, they simply disappear, leaving only the doors that carry your true destiny. He whispers, the season of confusion ends. The season of divine clarity begins. This clarity is not simply about direction. It is about identity. For years, you have adapted, adjusted, shrunk, stretched, and reshaped yourself to survive environments that were not built for your spirit. You have tolerated less because you believed it was temporary. You accepted situations because you thought endurance was the safest path. But Michael says heaven is now revealing the truth of who you are. Not who people told you to be. Not who your circumstances forced you to be. But who God designed you to be since the beginning. Heaven is awakening your original blueprint. The one written before pain rewrote your story and before fear dimmed your confidence. Michael stands before you with a light in his hand, and he presses it gently into your chest. As it enters your spirit, I see sparks igniting inside you, as though forgotten parts of you are remembering themselves. He says their spirit knows the way home. Then he reveals something deeply personal. You have been carrying a burden that was never meant to be yours. Whether it was the expectations of others, guilt that lingered too long, responsibility placed on your shoulders unfairly, or emotional weight that you absorbed silently, heaven saw it all. And tonight, Michael begins lifting that burden. You may feel it subtly at first, like lightness around your shoulders, or you may feel an emotional release that you cannot explain. But the shift is real. The weight is being removed so your miracle can enter without obstruction. Michael shows me another vision, a bright thread coming down from heaven and attaching to your spirit. He says this is the thread of divine alignment, and for the first time in a long while, your soul is aligning with your future rather than your fears. This alignment will change everything. It will shift the way you think, the way you make decisions, the people you allow near you, and the opportunities that begin appearing in your life. Heaven is preparing you to receive blessings that will require a stronger version of you. Not hard, not guarded, but grounded, clear, unshakable. You have walked through seasons that hollowed you out, but those seasons did not destroy you. They prepared you. They carved space for what is coming. They created capacity. Michael now speaks with a tone of authority, the kind that makes the spiritual atmosphere still. Tell them they are stepping into a season where closed doors will open without effort, where hidden helpers will appear, and where favor will follow them like a shadow. This favor is not ordinary. It is generational. It is the kind of favor that breaks patterns in your bloodline. It is the kind of favor that heals what ancestors carried. It is the kind of favor that opens opportunities you once believed were for others, not for you. You may begin noticing small shifts first, people responding differently to you, ideas flowing more naturally, unexpected encouragement showing up, moments of peace appearing in places where chaos used to live. These are signs that the miracle is already anchoring itself. But Michael reveals something deeper now, something about timing. Heaven has been holding something back for you, not as a denial but as protection. A blessing delayed is often a blessing preserved. What you prayed for was never withheld. It was being safeguarded until you were strong enough to receive it fully without losing yourself. Michael says, the wait ends now. You are crossing into the part of the miracle where what you prayed for begins to take form. Heaven is releasing answers that were once hidden, provisions that were once delayed, and guidance that was once faint. You are walking into the season of visible change. And then Michael gives one final message before this part concludes. Tell them the sign in the final moments will confirm everything their spirit has felt but could not put into words. To hold steady. This unfolding is far from over, and what comes next will bring you even closer to the revelation heaven has saved for you. You will thank yourself for staying present. Type "I walk through my divine door" in the comments if this message is resonating with your soul. Blessing code 7171 is being released over your path. Sacred One, moving deeper into the heart of this revelation. As the night stretches forward, Archangel Michael's presence wraps around you with a strength that feels both comforting and commanding. He stands beside you not as a distant heavenly figure, but as a guardian who has walked through your hardest moments with you, even when you thought you were alone. This part of your Christmas miracle carries a vibration unlike anything released before it. Michael whispers that you are now entering the realm of divine correction, divine preparation, and divine empowerment. This is where heaven takes what was once scattered and gathers it into purpose. Heaven shows me a vision of your life like a pathway divided into fragments. Pieces of you moving in one direction, your desires moving in another, your responsibilities stretching you thin, and your hopes trying to keep pace. For a long time, it felt like life was happening in separate parts instead of a unified whole. You tried to hold everything together, but the weight of fragmentation created exhaustion in your spirit. Michael now steps into the center of this fragmented image, and with a single motion, all the pieces begin to merge into alignment. He says your life is becoming whole again. This wholeness is part of your miracle. Not just the blessing, not just the sign, not just the protection, but the restoration of spiritual unity within you. Heaven is stitching together what once felt broken. The scattered thoughts that left you overwhelmed, the emotions that fluctuated unpredictably, The dreams you paused out of fear, the confidence that dimmed under pressure, Michael is restoring them all. He is recentering your soul. He whispers a powerful truth. Before a miracle manifests around them, it must stabilize within them. And that is exactly what is happening now. Your inner world is being steadied so the blessings awaiting you will not slip through your hands. Heaven is also revealing something remarkable about your journey. There were moments when you thought you were delayed, blocked, were falling behind. But Michael says, they were never behind. They were being prepared. The preparation was painful at times. It felt like waiting without answers. It felt like praying without movement. It felt like surviving without clarity. But heaven sees preparation differently than humans do. Where you saw stillness, heaven saw foundation. Where you saw silence, heaven saw protection. Where you saw delay, heaven saw timing. Now, the timing aligns. This is the moment your preparation meets your purpose. Heaven shows me a lantern being handed to you. Not a bright, overwhelming flame, but a steady light, just enough to guide your next steps clearly. Michael explains that heaven is not giving you the full map yet. It is giving you just enough revelation to keep you aligned, confident, and moving forward without fear. The reason is simple. Your story is unfolding in real time, and if you saw everything at once, the weight of it would overwhelm you. So heaven gives light in portions. But the next portion is arriving tonight. Michael begins to speak about your spiritual sensitivity. There are moments when you feel emotion suddenly, sense shifts around you, or intuitively know when something is right or wrong. At times, you doubted these sensations, dismissing them as overthinking or imagination. But Michael says these were spiritual signals, not mental noise. Your discernment is a divine gift, and it is sharpening now. Heaven reveals that in the coming days, you will notice 3 changes. Your intuition will become sharper. Your inner peace will speak louder. Your discomfort will warn you faster. These are not coincidences. These are tools heaven is activating so you can walk confidently into the next season. And now Michael turns your attention to your future, a landscape heaven has been shaping quietly. There's something coming that will require courage, a decision, a step, a shift. This is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Michael says, what is coming is not meant to challenge them. It is meant to elevate them. Elevation often arrives disguised as opportunity or transition. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but it carries the breath of heaven. There will be a moment soon when you feel a pull, not a push, but a magnetic pull, toward something new. Do not ignore it. This pull is part of the miracle unfolding. It is heaven guiding you toward the next chapter. Michael now places his hand upon your spirit, and I see a soft golden blue light form around you. This is not the shield he placed earlier. This is an anointing. He says their journey is marked by favor. This favor will influence the way people respond to you, the opportunities that open suddenly, the clarity that settles in your decisions, the unexpected support that appears. Favor is not luck. Favor is divine endorsement, and heaven is endorsing your next steps. But Michael also gives a gentle warning, not to frighten you, but to prepare you. As the miracle rises, old fears will try to rise too. Do not identify with them. Fear is familiar, but it is not your identity. Doubt is loud, but it is not your truth. You are being rewind. You are being elevated. You are being transformed. Heaven is clearing the internal debris that once clouded your faith. By the time you reach the final moments of this message, the sign Michael promised will reveal itself in a way so precise, so timed, so unmistakably divine that you will know God has been speaking to you directly. Hold on. What comes next is about to intensify your understanding of the miracle unfolding. This next part will open something deeper in you. Type "I align with my divine purpose" in the comments if this message is resonating with your spirit. Blessing code 8188 is released upon your path. Shall I continue with part 7? Beloved one, walking steadily into your divine unveiling. As this holy night stretches further, Archangel Michael's presence becomes almost tangible. It is as though the very air around you is shifting to make room for what heaven is preparing to release. You are moving into the part of the miracle where deeper truths rise to the surface, where hidden alignments become visible, and where spiritual preparation turns into spiritual empowerment. Michael says this is the moment where the unseen world begins shaping your seen reality. Nothing about this is accidental. Every word meeting your spirit now has been timed, sculpted, and delivered with heavenly precision. Heaven shows me an image of you walking through a corridor lined with mirrors. Each mirror reflects different versions of you. Your past selves, your wounded selves, your hopeful selves, your tired selves, and the version of you that heaven sees. For so long, you have been pulled between these reflections, unsure of which identity truly belongs to your soul. Michael steps into this corridor beside you, and with a single sweep of his hand, all the mirrors fade except the final one, the one that reflects your divine identity, the one heaven recognizes, the one your miracle requires you to step into. He whispers, "This is who they truly are." This part of the miracle is about identity restoration. It is about shedding the old spiritual garments you wore out of survival. It is about releasing the versions of yourself shaped by fear, disappointment, or lack. Heaven is guiding you back to your original spiritual blueprint, the version of you untouched by doubt, unscarred by betrayal, unmarked by the weight of past seasons. Michael says they are returning to themselves, but a stronger version, a cleansed version, a divine version. Now he draws your attention to something deeply personal. Your spirit has been carrying exhaustion that did not come from physical effort alone. It came from carrying burdens that were not yours. You held emotional responsibility for others. You carried silent disappointment. You absorbed tension in your environment. You tried to fix what you did not break. And yet through all of it, you kept moving, kept praying, kept hoping. Heaven took notice of every step. Michael reveals that this exhaustion is lifting tonight. Not solely, not partly, but completely. A spiritual release is taking place. I see a vision of a heavy cloak being lifted off your shoulders. As it rises, the atmosphere around you becomes brighter. Michael whispers, "This weight is not theirs. It never was." That release will create room for clarity, for expansion, for miracles to enter without resistance. Tonight marks the moment your spirit becomes lighter than it has been in years. But there is more. Heaven reveals that a divine rearrangement is happening around you. Something in your environment, your routines, or your relationships is shifting. For weeks, you may have felt an inner stirring, a sense that change was coming but without knowing where or how. Michael says this stirring was not anxiety, it was spiritual preparation. Heaven has been adjusting things behind the scenes so that the path ahead can open without obstruction. This rearrangement might manifest as new opportunities, unexpected conversations, a sudden surge of confidence, or even the closing of situations that no longer serve your purpose. Michael says, everything being removed is making space for everything being prepared. Nothing is leaving your life without purpose. Nothing is entering your life without intention. Nothing is unfolding without heavenly orchestration. Now, Michael reveals a secret about timing. There are moments in your journey where heaven accelerates your path, not because you asked for it, but because your spirit matured enough to carry the next assignment. You are in such a moment now. Acceleration is coming. This means decisions that once took months will unfold within days. Opportunities that felt distant will suddenly draw near. Favor that was delayed will begin flowing swiftly. This is not luck. This is divine timing activating on your behalf. Heaven shows me another vision, golden lines connecting various parts of your life. Your relationships, your purpose, your opportunities, your healing, your growth. These lines begin glowing brighter as they connect, forming a beautiful pattern that resembles a constellation. Michael says this is their alignment. Everything that once felt random or chaotic is coming together with purpose. The threads of your past, present, and future are being woven into a tapestry that makes sense only now. Ethan speaks about your intuition again, saying it will become increasingly important in the days ahead. You will notice that certain decisions feel easier. Certain environments feel clearer. Certain connections feel safer. And certain patterns that once confused you will suddenly make sense. This is because heaven is amplifying your inner knowing. Michael says their spirit will guide them before their mind understands. This level of guidance is a gift, and it is part of the miracle being open for you tonight. Soon, you will look back and realize that the signs were always there. Now you will finally perceive them. Michael's voice lowers as he shares one final message for this part. Tell them the miracle is not approaching. The miracle has begun. This unfolding is not something you are waiting on. It is something you are already standing inside of, step by step, revelation by revelation. Heaven is not preparing to move. Heaven is moving. And you are being carried into alignment with every divine intention set for your life. Before the next revelation arrives, pause in your spirit. Something even deeper is coming. Type "I rise into my true self" in the comments if this part is touching your soul. Lesson code 4040 flows now into your atmosphere. Shall I continue with part A? Beloved soul, standing in the glow of unfolding prophecy, as the night deepens and the veil thins even further, Archangel Michael steps into your atmosphere with a surge of power that feels different from anything released before. This is the moment where the miracle that has been forming in layers begins to crystallize. What was once spiritual preparation now becomes spiritual manifestation. Michael says, this is the part where their life begins to shift externally, not just internally. The movement you have been waiting for is beginning. The change you sensed but could not name is approaching. And the revelation heaven promised is drawing closer with each breath you take. Heaven shows me an image of you standing on a bridge suspended between two seasons. Behind you is a landscape shaped by survival, moments you endured, wounds you carried, lessons you learned, and storms you weathered. Ahead of you is a radiant expanse filled with clarity, alignment, and opportunities crafted with your name etched into them. For a while, you felt stuck in the middle, no longer where you once were, but not yet where you were meant to be. Tonight, Michael places his hand on your back and says, move forward. The next season is ready. This part of your miracle is about crossing the bridge. Not rushing, not forcing, not questioning, but stepping into the alignment heaven has opened. Michael reveals that the reason you have felt both anticipation and pressure recently is because your spirit has been sensing this crossing. When heaven shifts your position, your spirit feels it before your mind understands it. You may have noticed moments where you felt emotional without knowing why, moments of sudden clarity, moments of unusual tension, or moments where you felt an unexplainable urge to prepare yourself. These sensations were not random. They were spiritual indicators that change was already in motion. Now heaven confirms it. You are stepping into the unfolding of promises long delayed. The delay was not denial. It was divine timing. Everything you endured shaped you. Everything you learned prepared you. Everything you suffered strengthened you. And now, heaven says, they are ready for what is next. Michael shows me a vision of a scroll opening in the spiritual realm. As it unrolls, I see words written in divine light, assignments, blessings, alignments, and connections meant for you. Some of these were written years ago. Some were added after you made certain decisions. Some were placed upon your life because of prayers you prayed when no one else was listening. This scroll represents your spiritual season, and Michael whispers that the next section of your scroll begins tonight. But there is another revelation rising. Heaven is shifting the people around you. Some relationships will deepen. Some will fade quietly. Some will suddenly reveal their true intentions. Some will enter your life with divine timing and purpose. This is not loss. This is alignment. Michael says, the miracle cannot rest on unstable ground. The people around them must reflect their future, not their past. You may soon feel nudges to let go of connections that drain you or pull away from environments that no longer match your spirit. Follow that guidance. Is heaven protecting your future? The blessing coming toward you requires space, peace, and supportive energy. Everything misaligned will naturally fall away. Heaven also reveals that a new opportunity is forming. This may come as unexpected communication, a sudden invitation, a new idea resurfacing, or a door you thought was closed reopening. The opportunity will feel both surprising and strangely familiar, like something you once dreamed about but forgot to chase. Michael says heaven is bringing this opportunity into your path deliberately, ensuring you cannot miss it. It is theirs, he says, and nothing can take it from them. At this point in the miracle, your intuition will heighten even more. Pay attention to the thoughts that come suddenly. Pay attention to the names that rise in your mind. Pay attention to the urges to act or wait. These are not coincidences. They are heaven's whispers guiding your steps. Michael now reveals one more profound truth. The sign you are waiting for is nearing. Heaven hath been preparing your spirit to recognize it. The final moments of this message will carry something so precise, so undeniably divine, that your spirit will feel the confirmation immediately. He whispers, tell them not to step away. The revelation is approaching, and their heart must be present for what heaven is about to release. Trust me, what comes next will shake something awake inside you. This miracle is not just a blessing. It is a redefinition of your entire spiritual path. Like this message, share it to lift others into the same anointing. Comment your testimony, and subscribe to keep this divine connection flowing. Heaven uses your engagement to spread light where darkness has lingered too long. Type I cross into my NEW season in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 9920 has just been activated over your path. As this revelation settles into your heart, let me speak to the ones who feel heaven stirring them right now. When you support this mission through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are helping carry Michael's message to souls who desperately need the guidance and protection you just received. Heaven uses your seed like a lamp in dark places, illuminating paths for those who have lost their way. The Lord says, where you sow your treasure, I release my covering, and this word is alive in this moment. I feel this deeply in my spirit. I am inviting you to be part of the miracle heaven is building through these messages. When you give, heaven responds, and the oil of favor flows upon those who step forward in faith. Release what God placed in your heart, and watch how He multiplies it back into your life. Beloved one standing in the glow of divine transition, As this sacred message deepens, Archangel Michael steps forward with a radiance that feels almost overwhelming. His presence now carries a sense of anticipation, as though heaven itself is leaning toward your spirit, watching closely, waiting for the exact moment your heart fully awakens to what is unfolding. Michael whispers that this is the part where revelation becomes destiny, where your inner awakening begins shaping your external world. This is no longer preparation. This is activation. Heaven opens a vision before me, you standing in the center of a vast field, the earth beneath your feet glowing faintly as though alive. Above you, the sky shifts with movement, currents of divine energy swirling like ribbons of light. Michael says, the atmosphere around them is changing. This means the spiritual environment you have been living in, the energy field surrounding your life, is undergoing a transformation. Old heaviness is breaking. Old limitations are dissolving. Old patterns are losing their grip. Tonight, the spiritual climate shifts in your favor. You may begin to notice subtle changes first. A sudden sense of peace where anxiety once lived. A surprising clarity about something that once confused you. An idea rising that feels divinely timed. A moment where your heart feels lifted without reason. These are not emotional accidents. They are the first visible signs of heaven moving through your atmosphere. Michael explains that this shift is necessary for the miracle to manifest fully. If the atmosphere remains unchanged, the blessing cannot take root. But now the ground beneath your spiritual feet is fertile. The seeds of your prayers, long buried, are beginning to stir. Everything heaven promised is moving toward you with greater speed. Then Michael reveals something deeper. A spiritual unlocking is taking place inside you. For years, you have carried gifts, strengths, and abilities that were suppressed by fear, by doubt, or by environments that could not hold the fullness of who you are. These gifts were never gone. They were waiting for permission to rise. Tonight, heaven gives that permission. Michael says, their dormant gifts are awakening. This awakening may come as clearer intuition, greater emotional insight, stronger sense of purpose, new creativity, heightened awareness, spiritual sensitivity, a deeper inner knowing. These gifts are not arriving to overwhelm you. They are arriving because the next chapter of your life requires them. Heaven is equipping you for the blessings coming your way. I see another vision, a golden thread stretching from your heart into the distance. This thread leads into your future, and it pulses with light. Michael explains that your destiny has always been pulling you forward, even in seasons where you felt lost. He says, they never walked alone. Destiny walked with them. The setbacks you experienced were not derailments. They were redirections. The people who left you were not rejections. They were protections. The delays you faced were not obstacles. They were recalibrations. Heaven has been rearranging your path without your awareness. Tonight, Michael reveals the truth. You have been on schedule the entire time. Now he shifts to something more intimate, something heaven hath been waiting to address. You have been longing for clarity about a certain situation, something that has tugged at your spirit for months, maybe even years. You prayed for answers, but the answers never formed fully. Instead, you felt fragments, intuition, signs, dreams, unspoken knowing. Michael says the reason you never received the full answer before is because the timing was not ready. But now, the timing is aligning. Heaven is preparing to reveal the truth behind this situation. This revelation will not harm you. It will not shake your foundation. It will not bring fear. It will bring release. Michael whispers, the truth will set them free, not emotionally, but spiritually. This truth will become a key. It will unlock something within you that has been stuck for too long. It will allow you to move forward without hesitation or doubt. And once this truth reveals itself, you will understand why heaven asked you to wait. Another layer unfolds. Michael speaks about your resilience. You have survived storms that would have broken others. You have walked through valleys that left silent scars on your soul. You have held on even when you did not understand why things were happening. Heaven watched all of it. Your resilience has built spiritual authority. This authority is now activating. This is why your miracle is stronger than anything you have received before. Heaven is preparing to elevate you, not in loud, showy ways, but in quiet, powerful ways that carry long-term impact. Doors will open because your spirit is prepared to walk through them. Opportunities will arise because your heart is ready to receive them. Peace will settle because your soul is aligned with the divine. And now Michael gives a message that makes the atmosphere shift entirely. The sign is drawing near. Your heart may feel it now, an inner stirring, a subtle awareness, a pull toward something sacred. Heaven is preparing the signal it promised, and when it appears, your spirit will recognize it instantly. This is why you must stay present, stay connected, stay open. A miracle is not finished. The message is not complete. The revelation is still unfolding. Before we move forward, hold on to this truth. Everything you have walked through has led to this moment. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been overlooked. Nothing has been forgotten. Heaven has been writing your story with a precision you cannot yet comprehend. You will want to stay for what opens next. Type "I receive this" unlocking in the comments if this part has stirred something within you. Blessing code 6611 now flows into your destiny. Beloved soul standing at the edge of divine awakening, as this sacred message advances, Archangel Michael steps forward with a depth of presence that feels heavier, holier, and more purposeful than anything that has come before. His wings surround your atmosphere with a force that signals one truth: you are entering the most crucial phase of this Christmas miracle. What was once forming quietly in the unseen now begins pressing toward manifestation. Heaven is not preparing you anymore, heaven is positioning you. Michael reveals that everything in your life has been leading to this juncture. The breakthroughs, the breakdowns, the silence, the longing, the detours, the moments of divine insight, and the moments you felt spiritually numb, none of it was wasted. Heaven uses every piece, every emotion, every experience as material for your elevation. He whispers, "Tell them nothing they endured was without purpose." Every tear watered their destiny. And now, destiny begins to respond. Heaven shows me an image of a locked chamber, beautiful, ancient, and glowing with a faint golden aura. This chamber represents a part of your life that has remained inaccessible. It holds blessings, answers, reconciliations, opportunities, and spiritual upgrades that were stored for you but not yet released. The chamber was sealed not by denial, but by timing. Michael now stands before this chamber with his sword raised, and the seal begins to break. He says they are ready for what was once withheld. This moment marks the beginning of divine unveiling. Your spirit may sense the shift already, a tightening in the chest, a flutter of anticipation, or a strange quiet settling around you. These sensations are signs that heaven is moving. Michael explains that when a spiritual chamber opens, the soul begins adjusting to new frequencies of blessing. You are not imagining the changes within you. They are evidence of the miracle activating. Now Michael turns your attention to your internal world. There have been thoughts you tried to quiet, fears you tried to suppress, and questions you tried to ignore. You pushed through your days with strength, yet your spirit often felt stretched between hope and uncertainty. Heaven saw all of this, and tonight, something begins to shift. Those fears lose authority. Those doubts lose volume. those lingering uncertainties lose influence. Michael presses his hand to your heart and declares, peace is returning to them. This peace is not the temporary kind that fades with circumstance. It is the divine kind that roots itself deep in your spirit. It is the kind that aligns your emotions with heaven's truth. It is the kind that prepares you for what will soon enter your life. Heaven cannot release certain blessings into a heart still battling inner storms. But now, the storm is calming. Now, the waters are settling. Now, peace is entering. Heaven shows me another vision, a path that once looked narrow and dim, now widening, glowing, expanding. You took hesitant steps before, unsure of your direction. But now that path becomes illuminated, and each step ahead is clearer than the last. Michael whispers, their way is opening. This opening represents opportunities, clarity, provision, and unexpected alignment. The narrowing season is ending. The expanding season begins. Then comes a revelation heaven has been preparing you for. Something you previously lost is circling back toward your life. This may be a dream you abandoned, a plan you paused, a desire you buried, or a part of yourself you silenced. Heaven says this returning is not regression. It is restoration. You are not going backward. You are reclaiming what was always meant to be yours. Michael says there is a blessing attached to your name that cannot be redirected, reassigned, or replaced. No one can take what heaven has authored for you. No force can erase what heaven has declared. You are stepping into a season where heaven's yes overrides every earthly no. Now Michael speaks about your energy field. Recently, you may have felt sudden waves of tiredness or moments of unusual clarity. You may have felt drained one day and deeply grounded the next. This is not instability. This is spiritual recalibration. When heaven shifts your destiny, your energy adjusts before your circumstances do. These fluctuations are signs that your spirit is preparing to receive more than you have ever held before. Michael instructs you to pay attention to the subtle signs around you. The numbers appearing repeatedly, the sudden memories resurfacing, the dreams that feel strangely vivid, the conversations that seem divinely timed, the opportunities that present themselves without force. These are all signals that your miracle is drawing closer. Heaven orchestrates these signs not to confuse you, but to reassure you. Michael whispers, tell them the signs are not random. They are messages. He then reveals something powerful about the coming days. There will be a moment when everything clicks. A moment when confusion dissolves. A moment when understanding floods your spirit. A moment when the direction becomes unmistakable. This moment is part of the divine unfolding. It will come unexpectedly, yet perfectly timed. And when it comes, you will know without doubt that heaven has spoken. Michael's presence intensifies as he releases one final message for this part. Their breakthrough is already on its way. It is not forming, it is moving. Your spirit may feel the truth of this even now. Something is approaching your life with purpose and speed. Something heaven designed long ago is finally making its way toward you. And the final moments of this message will reveal the sign that confirms everything your soul has sensed. Hold steady. You are closer to revelation than you realize. Type I receive this divine activation in the comments if this is awakening your spirit. Blessing code 7474 is now shifting your atmosphere. Beloved soul standing in the rising glow of your divine turning, as this sacred message enters one of its most powerful dimensions. Archangel Michael draws nearer with a force that feels unmistakably intentional. His presence now is not simply protective, it is directive. You are stepping into the part of your Christmas miracle where heaven begins arranging the pieces of your future in real time. What once felt distant now begins to press into your reality. What once felt delayed now begins to accelerate. Michael whispers, "Tell them the miracle is no longer forming around them. It is forming through them." Heaven opens a new vision before me. You standing on a vast cliff overlooking a horizon that stretches endlessly. Below you, waves crash with intensity, each one representing an old cycle you survived. Behind you, the ground shows footprints of every journey you have walked, every challenge you have endured, and every victory heaven recorded. But ahead, there is a dawn that glows brighter than any season you have known. Michael says, they are standing at the edge of becoming. This becoming is not about changing who you are. It is about revealing who you have always been. The miracles, the breakthroughs, the blessings, they are not arriving to create your identity. They are arriving to confirm it. Heaven has been shaping you for this moment long before you felt worthy of it. Michael reveals that a spiritual anointing is being placed upon your path. This anointing does not look like oil or fire. It looks like clarity. It looks like confidence. It looks like every broken piece of your past finally understanding its place. He whispers, "Tell them they are divinely equipped." For too long, you believed you needed more time, more knowledge, more confidence, more resources, more certainty. But heaven says you already carry what the next season requires. You are not lacking. You are not behind. You are not unprepared. The very experiences that humbled you, that stretched you, that tested you, they have built the exact gifts the next chapter will demand. Michael now draws attention to something you have sensed but perhaps never understood. Your spirit hath been expanding. Even on days when you felt tired. Even in moments when you doubted yourself. Even in seasons where you questioned your worth. Heaven expands the spirit before it expands the life. Your capacity has been increasing quietly, and now your life will begin to grow to match it. This is why your emotions have felt heightened lately. This is why your intuition has sharpened. This is why old fears began surfacing, not to weaken you, but to be released from you. Michael says, the old cannot cross into the new. Now heaven reveals something profound. You have been praying for a certain breakthrough, perhaps silently, perhaps privately, perhaps with tears you hid from everyone. You have asked heaven to intervene, to guide, to open a way where there seemed to be none. The response to that prayer is already on its way. You are not waiting for the answer. The answer is waiting for the moment heaven designed for its arrival. Michael whispers, "Tell them the answer is closer than their fear, closer than their doubt, closer than their expectation." There will soon be a moment, a conversation, an event, a shift in the atmosphere, where everything becomes clear, where heaven's timing reveals itself, where you will see why you had to wait, why certain things had to fall apart, and why certain doors remained closed. Heaven did not reject you. Heaven was aligning you. Heaven shows me another vision. Your name written in light, surrounded by a circle of protection. Michael explains that this circle is not symbolic. It is heavenly structure. It means that no attack, no curse, no spiritual interference, no ill intention formed against you can enter your atmosphere. Your life is guarded. Your path is sealed. Your purpose is shielded. Michael says, they are stepping into a season where their spirit will not bend under pressure but rise under purpose. In this next season, expect your strength to surprise you. Expect your decisions to feel guided. Expect your intuition to feel unmistakably accurate. Expect your confidence to flow from a source deeper than your own. This is the anointing taking root. There is also a relational shift approaching. Someone in your life will reveal their true intention, either through action, energy, or clarity heaven places in your heart. This revelation is not meant to harm you. It is meant to protect you. Heaven does not allow you to walk into your miracle surrounded by confusion. Michael says the truth coming will free them, not break them. Prepare for understanding. Prepare for clarity. Prepare for liberation. As this part of the message nears its close, heaven releases one final truth. You are not stepping into a blessing. You are stepping into a transformation. This transformation will not require force. It will unfold naturally, like a flower opening, like dawn rising, like breath entering tired lungs. Michael whispers, "Tell them their spirit is being prepared for the sign that approaches." The sign will come in the final moments. You will feel it. You will know it. You will not question it. What is coming next will shift the very foundation of what you believe is possible. Stay present. The miracle is reaching its highest point. Type "I stand in my divine transformation" in the comments if this message resonates with your soul. Blessing code 5353 is now active in your spiritual field. Beloved soul standing at the edge of revelation, as we enter this final unfolding, the atmosphere around you shifts with a sacred weight. Archangel Michael steps forward with a presence so profound, so unmistakably holy, that the very air around this moment feels charged. This is not merely the closing of a message. This is the opening of the miracle heaven had been preparing for you from the very beginning. Michael whispers, "Tell them the final veil is lifting. Everything your spirit has felt, everything your heart has hoped for, everything heaven has been positioning around you, all of it converges here. Heaven shows me a luminous field stretching across your future, glowing with paths you have not yet walked, blessings you have not yet held, and answers you have not yet received. But tonight, those answers begin their descent into your life." Michael says, "What was once hidden now steps into the light." This is the moment heaven had been shaping throughout every part of this message. The miracle is no longer approaching from a distance. It is entering your atmosphere now. There is a powerful vision unfolding before me. You stand with Michael beside a great door made of radiant light. The door is tall, ancient, and etched with markings that resemble divine script. This is the door of revelation, the one heaven only opens when a soul has reached spiritual readiness. You have reached that readiness. You have endured the refining, the waiting, the stretching, the breaking, and the rebuilding. Your spirit stands aligned. Your faith stands awakened. Your heart stands open. Michael places his hand upon the door, and the entire realm trembles with anticipation. He whispers, "They are worthy of what lies beyond this threshold." The door begins to open, and what emerges is not just a blessing but a flow. A stream of divine light pours toward you, guidance, protection, provision, clarity, inner strength, restored identity, and renewed purpose all wrapped together. It moves toward you like water breaking through a dam. Michael says, "This outpouring will not touch one area of their life, it will touch every area." This is the fullness of your Christmas miracle. Not a single blessing, not a single moment, but a divine chain reaction that will echo through your relationships, your purpose, your opportunities, your emotional well-being, and even your spiritual authority. Heaven now reveals something intimately personal. There is a prayer you prayed, quietly, privately, desperately. A prayer you were not sure heaven heard. A prayer you whispered through tears or exhaustion. Tonight, Michael says, that prayer has been answered. The answer may not appear in the way you expected, but it will arrive in the form that brings you the most peace and the greatest alignment. Heaven does not send answers to confuse. Heaven sends answers to transform. Trust what unfolds next. Trust what shifts. Trust what rises. Michael also highlights a divine protection being sealed around you. You are entering a new spiritual season, one where the attacks that once drained you will no longer access your energy, where the confusion that once clouded your path will no longer dictate your decisions, where the heaviness that once clung to you will no longer follow you. Heaven is placing a barrier between you and everything that once tried to pull you backward. The battles you faced in previous seasons will not repeat themselves. Michael says they have graduated from that level. Now he reveals something extraordinary, your sign. The sign promised from the beginning. The sign that appears only in the final moments. The sign heaven crafted specifically for your spirit. Michael instructs me to speak slowly because your heart must receive this fully. In the coming hours, or within the next dawn, you will see or experience something that aligns with the message of this miracle. It may be a number, a phrase, a sudden moment of clarity, a dream, an unexpected message, a symbol that resonates in your soul. When it appears, you will know instantly, not through logic, but through the undeniable stirring in your spirit. This sign is not a prediction. It is a confirmation. It seals every word spoken over you. It marks your alignment with the miracle released tonight. Michael whispers, when the sign appears, step forward without fear. Heaven isn't ahead of him. This moment marks the end of the message but the beginning of your manifestation. Your miracle enters your life now. Your breakthrough begins now. Your protection seals now. Your clarity strengthens now. Your destiny shifts now. Beloved soul, you have walked through every layer of this revelation with an open heart. Heaven sees this. Heaven honors this. Heaven rewards this. Michael extends his hand toward you, a gesture both symbolic and eternal. He whispers, their journey from this moment forward will not resemble the journey behind them. This is your new chapter. This is your divine turning. This is the opening of your Christmas miracle. Trust what unfolds. Trust what rises. Trust what heaven has sealed. You have been chosen to receive this. You have been guided to this moment. And now, you step into the fullness of what heaven has written for you. Hold on, because everything from this point forward begins to change. Like this message, share it to spread the light, comment your testimony, and subscribe to stay aligned with the revelations heaven sends. Heaven uses your engagement to reach more souls who are searching for exactly what you received tonight. Type "I receive my miracle" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Blessing code 1010 is now released into your destiny. As you stand in the glow of this final revelation, hear this part with your spirit. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are helping carry God's light into places where hope has grown dim. Heaven says, those who sow into my work shall walk under open heavens, and this word becomes living promise when you act in faith. I speak this with divine urgency. I am inviting you to join in spreading Michael's message to souls waiting for guidance, healing, and protection. Your support becomes a spiritual seed that heaven multiplies, not in earthly numbers, but in eternal impact. Your giving becomes a prophetic act that unlocks blessing, protection, and favor over your own journey. Step forward boldly. Your obedience becomes light for another. Heaven is calling you to move.